Okay, well, this one's working. So, SS14. This is the graphical disaster that is Space Station 13. This is the common normal artwork. And you'll see that the characters are top down. I meant top down facing. So, like, they face directly away. One of these guys probably looking forward, maybe not. Like Ghost is, but you can't tell. That guy's looking to the left. That guy's looking to the right, just flipping it. And that's because it's easy to draw. The walls are all top down. This isn't helping. Top down. See, you're looking straight at them. So, first off, we already got two clashes of perspectives. But now, that cabinet, straight on. That chair, kind of straight on. The computer, look at it. It's 2/3. Like 2/3 forward, 1/3 upwards. It's at an angle. This table's at an angle. Ish. 2/3 maybe, I guess is what you call it. This cabinet, angled. That object, straight on, straight on. That one's kind of got depth. Basically, the artwork depends on what era and what graphics person worked on it. Like, the oldest artwork probably looks like that. It's a clash. And it's hard to tell what's going on. Except for all the blood, it's not very interesting to look at. Like, here's a typical round. And look, I mean, that's kind of a mech-looking dude facing straight forward mostly. It's a blood splotch. You know, in retrospect, I'm not really a big fan of the art style. I mean, you know, it has its merits in its own kind of crappiness. I mean, the artwork is almost like that of a board game. In that case, it's okay. You have characters that are flat up tiles, you know. Sorry. Is this? It's backwards. I need to mirror this camera. Hang on. Anyway, no, not vertically. Can you not flip horizontally? What's the point? Who gives a crap? No, what? Hi! So this thought occurred to me. Oh no, you're seeing all my dirty sins. No, found out about this program called Magic Voxel, which people have been doing for a few years, since like 2013, so about 5 years, to make voxel art. And everybody thinks Minecraft when they think voxels. Minecraft is barely a voxel game. Okay? They think boxes equals voxels. I guess, in a way, but there have been voxel games from like the 90s that... Well, first off, this is technically a voxel game. Does that look anything like Minecraft? Does it? No, it doesn't. Does this one? What about that one? This one? Oh, wait. Those are all voxel games. That's because this is not necessarily a frickin' voxel, alright? I mean, it kind of is, but I'm not getting into details. Basically, voxels can be smaller. That's a voxel. Where's the picture? I saw the picture. Let me see the picture. See that? In, I don't know if Duke Nukem had it, but Shadow Warrior has voxel support. The items are in voxels. So you might not have noticed this way back in the 90s. But, well, those are 2D. Those are 2D sprites. They're called billboarded sprites. Someone added voxelized. Oh, the key card is voxel, I think. No. See that? And then they replaced it with polygon or voxel, which is kind of neat. Someone did a mod. But back to the actual voxel. I'm trying to show you what. Okay. I guess this is what they say is a voxel. This one, you see how it's square, notches. The point is that voxels don't have to be big, huge Minecraft-looking voxels, okay? They don't have to be that. They don't have to be as big as you. In Minecraft, the voxels are as big as you. you are 2 blocks high. Minecraft is a block game, not necessarily a, which you would, I mean, oh wow, ooh, that's neat. They actually modify the pixels. I'm gonna look into that later. It's an interesting idea, modifying the voxels. But anyway, back to voxels. Those voxels. A lot of games. Voxels. Oh, I guess, yeah, those are actually voxels. That's a height map. And this game just showed up on GOG, actually. It's a really, really, really weird Russian game, but kind of neat. It's like an RPG car racing game, or fighting game. Interstate 76, but 2D? I don't know. Anyway, so these are actual heights, and they're pixels. I mean, I don't know if I'd call it, it could be voxels. Well, no, sorry. The answer is maybe. I haven't played enough of that game to call that voxels or not. Oh wow, someone turned the angle sideways. I believe, yes, they're voxels. You can kind of tell here. If it was a height map, which is kind of like voxels, a height map, the point of a height map is you can't have caves. I don't have time to explain that right now. But a height map is like a bitmap, and each pixel corresponds to a height. And the point is unless you have multiple maps, there's no way to do layers. Tunnels, for example. The height is what the height is. So the height map translates into like this. The height is 0, and then all of a sudden there, it goes up. That's the mountain. Voxel. There was like a red faction, I think, had voxels. This one maybe? Maybe not. Red faction did have destructible terrain. You could actually blow holes in the walls, which is pretty amazing. Like, you could tunnel from one section of the map to the other and, like, bypass hard sections by just blowing through the walls. That's really cool. But the jaggedness, I don't think that's technically voxels. It's just a algorithm that works with normal mesh. So that's a tangent. Now, what the hell was I gonna say? So voxels can be smaller. People have seen a lot of voxel games in mobile show up all of a sudden. At least the kind of art style. These might not technically be voxel games, but they're the art style of low polygon. Not that. Like Crossy Road and stuff. Like this. Like everything's square, but not quite. Like, take little square chunks out, or cube chunks out of that. Everything in this could technically maybe be voxels. I don't know, but those are big. What's the hell? I didn't think this would be a hard point to actually mention, to get through. But yeah, voxel raid, cubes. Okay, fine. So in a way, Minecraft is voxels, but there's nothing about a voxel game that says it has to be destructible. There were some other voxel games I was going to point out. But anyway, now look at all this artwork. This game makes... This isn't a game. Magic of Voxel is for making artwork. That's, voxels. And you basically have a cube grid to work within of what you can work on. And so you could remove pieces and leave it empty, but the cube is always there. That's what you can work on. And the artwork some of these people are making is incredible. Like, first off, is that really? Holy crap, did they do that by hand? It's beautiful. Look at that. Yeah, those are pixels. But, you can do simple stuff. You can do, like, Mario. People are doing, like, speed runs of, like, how much can they do in an hour of, these things. You see the pixel stuff. Well, I saw some sci-fi ones. I don't know if this will come up with the right ones, but, yeah, like, okay. Oh, wow, I didn't even notice I saw that before. Look at that. Does that not scream like a very awesome art style? And you don't have to rip off this one artist. I mean, could Space Station 13, with that kind of boring Really cool under the ground, but, you know, this is glass. This is a table. Could we combine that with this? There's more in here. Hang on. That's at a different angle than isometric. But, okay, look at this. I mean, hang on. Wait, well, I don't even know. That one's probably not voxels. You can see how everything looks plate-wise. But, yeah, that one too. That one's not voxels. Okay, but this, you'll see that. And that looks like a game I've seen. But anyway, you can have like more simple. So this one is where a character human size would be like 5 blocks or voxels high. Whereas, you know, this one, a character is, you know, 100 or more, a couple hundred voxels tall, which I'd much prefer that. But I'm wondering if, and there's some really cool mechs and stuff. That's one of them. I don't think I saw those before. People redoing scenes like Blade Runner in it. See, I don't know if I really want voxels for the characters. I mean, it certainly has a certain style, but I don't know. Anyway, 3D character is a pain in the ass, but look at this, okay? Well, it's all blurred for reasons that don't need to be there, but wheelie bot. Why are these all... They're using some sort of filter to make it more pixelated, but I wanted the non-pixelated one. Oh, well, here's something you don't realize. Command and Conquer 2 used voxels. Command and Conquer 2 is a 2D isometric game, but these are actually voxels, which is a little more obvious once you point it out, but basically that allows their turrets and the body to be rotated in 3D without the artist redrawing it from every possible angle. They can be lit without the artist having to light it. The 3D data is still there, but one of the cool things about it is it's pretty damn easy. Not super easy, but it's pretty damn easy to make one of these by yourself. One moment while I load up Magic Voxel. Magic Walk. Magic. Beep, beep, beep. Oh man, Windows is pissing me off. Magic. Oh my god, I want to kill this frickin' Windows so much. But anyway, okay, so here it is. And it's more difficult than nothing. Like, you can't just go wee and play around with it. I mean, you can, but I mean, it's more difficult than using your hand. But you go block, and I want to erase a piece. So we go, well, I'm going to select all and hit Control X to kill everything. Then I'm going to attach by creating a block. There. And then what I can do is I can go to F, which selects a face, which allows you to basically extrude a face. Boom, it's kind of a thick floor. Then we go back to B. Excuse me, I've got hiccups. B, I draw that face, extrude it out. I've used this like 5 minutes. I'm already, look at that cool shadow. Look, now we have a hallway. And you go to render, and it does all kinds of nice ray tracing, rendering, and stuff like that. And then you can like move the view around. But if you just keep it, I don't know how you get back to the original camera. Recenter? Dragging ruler? Anyway, it was something like that. No, it was flat. Was it straight on? And we'll go back. Model. Now, so we got this. This could be like a room, and you could just be like, boom. 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 There's a shelf. Boom. Wow, I'm actually getting faster at this. Boom. Look at that. And I can paint every one of these pixels. But you could have one of these grids represent I don't know if you call that a tile in Space Station 13. The tiles would be pretty huge, but you could do it. And so we could texture. So you could, it's interesting how they have it. This is. They actually, where is it? I could paint a face. So I could paint you, like a darker one in there. Now I'm coloring. Ooh, that kind of works. And then what color do we want the ceiling to be? And then you could do different palettes. None of these palettes really work, but there's like colored ones and stuff. Alright, so I can paint a face, but I can also paint an individual voxel. But I could also, you could be like, oh, or I could make like cracks in it. Look at that. Look how easy this is. I'm making like a crack into it. Now, of course, we'll have to paint it, but paint it some interesting color to highlight the evilness of it. Brown. Not that brown. Dark brown. I want to paint the face. So actually, this program will turn it into... Oh, look. So now it looks like... I want to paint that back to silver. That I don't get. Alt-click is supposed to be... Alt-left button is supposed to be pick a voxel color. But it doesn't do that. Paint. Anyway. So look, there's like... And then you could be like, hey, we're going to paint a voxel. That's a piece. And then attach means create another one. So like, there was a connector over here. And it's all like broken. And turn off ISO mode. I can zoom in and work on just a piece. See, now there was something here that's kind of all broken. Now, having pieces animate, that's a little harder. Oh, we could have... I don't know how that damage would work. That doesn't quite make reasonable damage. We have to, like... And then we could have, like, I don't know, like... attached, like, vines growing out of it. Kind of hard to make something when there's nothing attached to it. And I've literally used this for like 10 minutes before. Alright. Look, now there's like vines growing out of it. So we could have like... How do we kill off a couple? Just to make it look like it's going up. Oh, and we can have like a cable going across. Here, red cable, reddish cable. It's here. Should have drawn the cable first, but how do I... Of course, you know how much of this would work real time. You know, this needs to be modifiable by an engine. Oh, these aren't even attached. Look at that. We got like a vine coming off, going up into the cabinet. We could have like the cabinet buckle out, bulge out. Oops. And so, like, you could use these for squares, and then the point would be you could... I'm trying to think of... Like, since they use a palettes, that's like a bonus and a problem. Let's see, I think L is long. I don't know how far that is. Probably good at copy and paste. Center, pattern, and screw it. We'll just assume that's right. You don't have to be exact. We'll go, hey, that was. But we could, hey, we could actually have these cabinets built into the bed and have them actually work instead of having to have an item cabinet there. But the idea is you could have room designed for certain pieces, and oops, I'm attaching paint. We could have room designed. That's kind of cool. Have a line through the back like that. Kind of like that just for art. Gives a little dip. This one is actually going to be not so easy to make, you know, angles and stuff. Box. Might be easier to make that some other way, but this might be harder than I thought. I can't make a simple angle. That's one problem with these voxels is once you're... Oops. It's not so simple to make non-flat surfaces. I mean, that's kind of the point, right? But, you know, like a 45-degree angle here wouldn't work too well. But I have no idea what that was supposed to be. It was just like a bar or something. Like a... What if I made it like... I need to finish up here. I'm kind of time limited at the moment, but... Oh, that's not exactly the way to do it either. Some sort of like pharmacist booth or something. Ooh, that one kind of works. Having a pillar out like that, and then we cut it away. I don't know if that really comes off as a wire, especially if there's a cabinet there. That doesn't work. No, attach. So that's a something. There's a power coming through it, blah, blah, blah. Saw, attach. No. Some more green crap in there. Fill it in. You could have some come out through here. No, oops, I've got it on block mode. You could have it come across the ceiling. Okay, so look at that, and then we'll go back to render. Boom, boom, boom. Let's save that as cat. Look at that. That's kind of cool. And I haven't done anything, but there's all kinds of like metal lighting and stuff you can do. I think you can move the sun around. Yeah, like sun. Whoa. Like straight down, is that? What is this? Yaw. Oh, pitch. So 90-90, is that straight down? Okay, so theoretically we have like a light coming straight down from the top. What's this? Sun area. What's that do? How big the sunlight is? How soft it is? You want to shrink it so it's more like a point light. Intensity. You want it kind of harsh. Oh, don't we? Wait, KK. You have fog. And then camera. You can add a depth of field. Overexposure. I don't really see a depth of field going on right now, but vignetting. That just darkens the outside. Yeah, but that, I mean, that kind of, ooh, spooky. Select matter. All materials, selected materials. Here. Diffuse metal glass. Oh. So if I were to like, how do I select something? Oh, that's light number 1. Okay, metal. Looks like I'm... Is it anything of a certain color? I'm on this color? That counts as a material? So like this one. Yep, that's what it is. Whatever. So how do I do like a pick? Model. Pick. Oh, okay, so let's count blue as our box attach. Okay, look how easy that was, right? Now, obviously this is not the most beautiful thing ever, but ooh, it's getting there, right? It's getting there. Yeah, blue. Oops, why is that? Oh, I accidentally made the blue too thick. Whatever. But there we go. Now look. Oh, just kill that one. We have chunks missing. And we'll say voxel erase. Oop, still one thick. Okay, well, whatever. Looks like it broke through a little, right? No. Alright, now. Now this, make sure we have it selected. Go back to rendering. Samples, reduce to make it faster, possibly. I don't know if the samples really helps it or not. Okay, so we have this material selected, and we're going to say, I want it to be glass. Boom. Gone. Now it's bluish glass, but you have to up the brightness to be able to see what the hell's going on, but more sunlight, please. Wait, what did I do to make it so dark? Oh, it was a vignetting. Oops. Okay. Now, really need that up to be able to detail right, I think. That's kind of cool. There's the blue. It's too blue, but oh, I can make it. Wait. How can it refract? It's almost like the yellow's refracting too. Shouldn't that? Whoa, 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 whoa. You see it? The reflection? Oh my gosh. I want really not rough. Okay. Now it looks like a mirror. I guess a full refraction. One problem is I'm not looking at anything. A little roughness. Just a little. Just a little bit. 1920, 1080. Ooh, that does take a while down to render. Well, it's just gonna be like that forever. Or... Okay, well, good enough, right? How do I... How come I can't turn? Okay. Now, what was I getting at here? Now I'm just playing around. Okay, so play around with stuff. You can mark materials. You can output files. But I'm interested in importing it into a game. Wait, that can't be the right sun. I moved the sun, didn't I? Whoa, that's kind of cool. Just having the light bulbs to the side of it. It comes down like that. Got it straight on and then down 2/3-ish. Oh, that's cool. We do isometric. About that. That was close. A little on the fuzzy side, but you know, what can you do? The window does in fact work and is intact. And that, so the lightness controls, you know, the effective darkness of every pixel, but vector render, bonk, looks just as good, really. I think you go free mode there. See, I can just like look around. Now it's like a first person. Click, click. You can have these things open. Let's see, shouldn't there be like a joint on them? Who cares? But you could have items in each of these. Obviously, we don't need like 3D items like showing up or anything in there, but so select you, attach. I never really thought about it, but I guess you would have the hinge on the bottom. You obviously wouldn't have the handle. I mean, on the top handle. Oh, and that would not be that way. It would be, you know, doing art really makes you notice things. Like the orientation of handles. Not paint, attach. Paint. That one opens this way, this way, this way, likewise. This one opens out that way. But yeah, I mean, I was just playing around for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. And I've already come up with a couple of ideas. And if I was really super amazing awesome, I could have the voxels actually be destroyed by vines and so on, while keeping the actual physical model as boundaries of where you can go. Or some meta system where this is divided up into a quadrant of 3 by 3. You know, like a keypad, 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, or whatever. Right? And then what you would do, so you split it like this, split like that internally, and then likewise with the top side, so 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So it's 9, a cube of 3. You split this up, you subdivide it. And then you could say, okay, in section, you know, this square of this, you know, this square, there is an item container. And it'll allow you to click it, even though there's nothing technically be attaching the 3D model to what you're doing. Why is this so high? I never noticed that. Now, what else could you do? But yeah, likewise, you could do the upper cabinets by having the 3 by 3, or you could do 4 by 4 by 4. But the point is, you're using a this one would work with 3 by 3 almost. The idea would be you could walk. It's clear in this one that you can walk in this, 2 by 2 or 3 out of 4 by 3 out of 4, like this block. You can clearly walk in, and you would have it a grid and not an actual, you don't give a crap about the actual 3D model. So if you start destroying pieces of the model, it's still, if you start destroying pieces of the model, it's still a, you don't have to care about the collision, because the collision becomes a huge pain in the ass when you can't control the exact pixels of what's going on. So, well, that doesn't really reflect until I hit render. That's so cool. Go back to, what was this one? Model. Left. Render. We say you. See what? It's like, does it? If you have full glass. Oh, that's kind of cool. Empty. Half. I'm trying to figure out what half and full does. Is full invisible? Is that the point? Okay. So the color actually still attenuates it. This is actually, what does attenuate do? Make it darker? I don't know. Kind of looks better. Dude, I kind of like that right there. Boom. So we can let users change the individual tiles themselves. But we can also, I mean, not users, but the editors, modders. But we can also have things like this. Okay, you watch, this is the palette. So save. Palette 0. Watch what happens. That vine is now blue. Palette 1. Palette's green. Everything's black and white. Everything's gray. You can have your own. Ooh, whoops. Open. Looks like there's only 3 that he's got in there, but so you can change. We could change in real time in the game. This you could have at the match start. You could have things, and you could change during the game things. I mean, we can obviously change lighting, but we could change marked things like this vine could be blue. It's a blue blob. The vine could be red on a different server, or it could be red because it's a different species. It could be red because the blob is starting to get hurt. Like, you can use these blocks up here to mean more than just an array of colors, and then change them. I mean, this is a very typical thing they used to do with 8-bit palettes back in the day. In Diablo 1 or Diablo 2, both, they would split the palette, and like half of it was for the backgrounds, so they'd be really pretty backgrounds, and the other half was from objects, and then, or it was like 64, 64, and then like 64 were lighting, or it was something like that. But basically, they could change the color of monsters. You could have red monsters or blue monsters, and all they did was change the palette. So they would go up here, this physical palette, they would change this red to blue, and anything that was painted with those red colors is now blue. And then you can also do color palette cycling, which is where this section repeats. Turns. This one gets moved over, this one goes over here, everybody moves over one to the right. And as it does, it has this animated effect of color cycling, palette cycling, same thing. You do this is some of the most beautiful stuff. Most people don't do this. That is an animation without an animation. Well, I mean, they saved it to a GIF so you could see it, but none of this is actually physically changing. The pixels are exactly the same, but the palette has changed. The representation of what this pixel index should look like changes. And so they do these beautiful things like waterfalls. Hello? Oh, I have to go to this website to actually see. That's what it would look like without color cycling. And then when you add color cycling, come on now. Watch what I'll say. True 8-bit color cycling. Look at that. That's freaking beautiful. And there are no, technically, of the bitmap, no pixels are actually changing. The only thing that's changing is the representation of what blue should be less blue. This should be less blue. And they're just changing and changing and changing. And so, like, I could mark this as floorboards, and then I could have my program automatically add a texture of different types of colors. Or simply, we could have, like, it could be a single color and it just changes. Or we can have this color means texture it with the floor. This color means texture it with the wall texture. Like, there's a lot of different ways, and there's no freaking clue about what the best way to do it is yet. But it's definitely interesting. Now, the real problem that I'm going to have is, well, first off, what size human fits into this? As well as, where's my... Yeah. The idea was going to be... was Xenogears, maybe? An example? Xenogears, anime games, they have 2D sprites on 3D background. Doesn't look that great now. It didn't look bad at the time. Except when you're in mech mode and the mechs are polygons. This is the PlayStation, original PlayStation, so it's, you know, view it in the era that it was made. But anyway, it had pretty gorgeous graphics. But anyway, 2D characters, 3D graphics, still kind of fit using the same palettes and everything. They kind of made the colors match. They worked hard to match it, even though it was polygons versus pixels. And, so I was thinking about doing kind of like Streets of Rogue. Okay. We have characters, possibly cutesy. I don't know. This is a different subject for a different day, but I want the characters, preferably, to have expressive faces so that you can express emotion as if everybody is walking around with an avatar that just walk this way, and the only thing you can do is like panic more or something. But the question is should I have, you know, voxel characters like that? And if I do, is it a pain in the ass to animate them? Because, I mean, if you have, like, voxel characters, it's almost like you're trying to be retro or trying to be, I don't know, it just feels cheap in a way. I can't explain it. Look, that overly slender style that's all over Steam now. Not Slender Man. Of course, that'll show up, but anyway. Super Brothers game, Sword and Sorcery. I think they were the first ones to do this that I know of, but they have this, you know, very thin style, new retro, and then Princess Galactic Princess, which never went anywhere. Just mark it. Got back on Steam and then collapsed. You know, they had cool artwork like this, single pixels. These are supposed to be animated. What's the damn Kickstarter so I can show you? Good enough. There we go. See, that's a cool art style. But, I don't know, it's like, how do I integrate these cool, I mean, how do I voxels. We were looking at that. I'm getting off topic here, I guess. I don't know. I just don't know if it's possible to have some sort of 2D compatible characters and voxel environments. 2D characters, voxel environment. Of course, I just mentioned Xenogears had 2D characters. I wonder if Xenogears 2 did as well. Probably not. Yeah, they made it prettier. Characters, 3D environment. I'm trying to think of that. HD remastered. Well, that kind of looks good. That's obviously got a pixel filter on it, but yeah, I mean, it works ish. I don't know. I just don't know if it'd be compatible, because I definitely could see, like, I could see in my head jumping into a voxel spaceship. And this would not be the space cruiser. I'm talking, I saw it. This one. Sorry. This. That could be, if it was isometric, you could jump in it with your character and then fly it around and fight other fighters. Whereas, oh, this one's adorable. Right? The right size. But then should the characters look like that? Or should the characters have more detail? Should the characters be 2D? I do love that picture. Now, I don't know. I need to get off here. But, oh my gosh, Back to the Future. Anyway, see, there are all kinds of ships. There are mechs. So, like, imagine jumping in that thing. But does your guy need to be real little like that? Because then I need to animate, you know, he climbs in and burn. But it would definitely be cool to have mechs. And I'm wondering if it's possible to combine a little dude jumping in there that's 2D, climbing into that. There were some other ones, and I'm trying to see. There were some really beautiful ones. I'm trying to see. Look, do you really want a character? Look, I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Oh. There were some cool ones. I'm trying to see if I can find them again. Oh, there were animated ones, I think. Bum, bum, bum. Eh, who cares? Okay, first off, that's pretty though. Like, imagine that walking down the hallway, fully lit. Oh, with the self-essaying shadows and everything. Of course, now I'm like, if I do that, I don't know how to write 3D games. It would still be a 2D game, hopefully, because it's not a first-person game. It's isometric, so you can walk like that. What the hell are you? But yeah, okay, like, for example, that's a voxel guy, but the guy kind of looks stupid. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how you animate him. It seems like if I want large faces, but large faces are typically cute, and I don't want to make Cube World the space station game. I want something with kind of a gritty, dark atmosphere. I don't want you to go, ha ha, doopy doopy. I want to go, oh my gosh, someone murdered my face. You know, like, I don't want to die. Like, there's some really dark looking ones that I found. I don't know why they're not showing up now. It's pissing me off. It was Magic Voxel. And, let me see if I'm around. But like laboratories with blood, test tubes, and you know, I already found these once. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to bring it up. What? You got a lot of code in this div, and it can. Come on now, they're in there. Let me see them. Oh, that's a room. That would be cool. Look at that. Try getting in that thing. Space taxi. Here we go. Here's an example. Well, not exactly the perfect example. Look at it. We can literally do blood stains by staining the individual voxels when your blood splats out. There's inner glowing stuff. How dark and ominous that would be. I mean, I guess it would fit to be a voxel person walking in there, but you're not going to see very big faces. The size of your face is going to be, what, 4 by 4 by 4 at best? Unless we shrink the voxels for the face and make them more detailed. So it fills the size of a 4 by 4 by 4. But really it's, you know, 8 by 8 by 8. It's double. You have half cubes in every cube. Ah, my eyes burn. Can't see. Anyway, this is a good time to stop. But it's certainly a neat idea. It kind of puts a lot of my actual code to waste, but that's not the end of the world. Pod racers. Yeah, okay, look at this guy. Look at that. I mean, obviously ours would be a big one. It would be full size. See how small the pixels are. This, you have to notice how big is a person in this shot. So this is like 10 or 20 tall is a person. 10 tall. Alien fig, right? Whereas the other one, they use the entire, I don't know, like 256 by 256 or whatever it is, 1000 by 1000. Well, maybe not. This one zoomed in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know, like 20? So, you know, what size is your human compared to... That one's animated, which is cool. And it almost kind of reminds you of Legos. Yeah, that one's more like Harry Potter-y, but yeah, you could have fluid pouring in. It's crap. Crap. Load the damn thing! Can I just click them? There's a lot of these. Until I went to town. I just saved them to my, GitHub. Oh my god, I have to... You dick. Screw it. Just screw it. I'm done. Anyway, yeah, so there's definitely things that can be done. Look at that. You could have robots that look pretty cool. I mean, that's a pretty cool looking robot. So we could just have androids look like that. Oh, there's one really cool one where like someone is like a robot is getting an arm built. Here, look at this. This is awesome. That kind of gave me inspiration. Like, what if you could have our dudes look like that, but then when you have to figure out how to animate their walking appropriately, and then, you know, it tricks your eyes. With 2D characters, your brain, the simpler the character is, the less real your brain expects them to act. if you saw that thing a little bit bigger and it didn't blink, it would make you weird. If it doesn't smile, it make it, I mean, you could. That thing's pretty big enough. You could probably make it smile. Frown. I mean, you'd be like, oh, robots frown. Actually, I guess that's technically a guy, but he's got a robot hand. Anyway, animating this is probably like a pain in the ass. And there's another thing for another day about like hardpoints, where you can put things in, like this could be a poster or display or a fire extinguisher, and it'll put a voxel thing in, but you can have an engineer install it. But you have to we have to leave spots in our designs for them. But they don't all have to have the same spots. Like you could have like some wall tiles only have a hard point here, some only have it on this side, some have a long hard point, some have room for computers. So and then if you have to modify the block to be a different block to accept more hard points in game, you can do that. So it's workable. I'm trying to run the line between fully able to create something like, yeah, Space Station 13, Minecraft, space engineers, you can make a spaceship, every single piece, officially. There's no, trickery that an artist had to do. While at the same time, being able to actually have an artist create a mold for you to fill the pieces into, so that you can focus more on the gameplay that these function. Like space engineers, you spend 5 hours building a spaceship, and then what? You fly it around, you crash it into something. There's nothing else to do with it. There are no invaders trying to get on your spaceship and you're fending them off. There's no princess to save. There's no galactic war to fight. There's no landing party to start a colony. It just is whatever you want because it's open-ended. I mean, it's great in a way because it's open-ended. I'm not bashing them at all, but at the same time, it's like it gives users these tools. Like, we used to have games that were given us. You had the story that they gave you. Then they had all these open games where, like, you want to do whatever you want. Lego games. But I want to kind of merge it together where you can... these two paths meet, that you can have as much of yourself in the solutions to problems and creating things, but at the same time having really cool sci-fi morality questions, complex or fun, difficult struggles and obstacles to be, there needs to be a combination of that, as well as hopefully with a strong modder community, you can make it very easy for people of different skill levels to add something. Like someone just adds a new color palette, or someone adds a new texture, or someone feels more confident they can build an object, or if they don't feel that confident, they could take an existing object and just kind of modify it a little. And whatever your skill level, or as you progress you get more, you can still contribute into it. So we want layers of stuff, but we don't want more and more requirements enabled before you can participate in these additional layers. If you can do textures, you can do textures. You don't have to know how to do the object side, how to do the code side, how to do the mod side. Just put in a new texture and add it to a list. Boom. Someone could select that texture and put it in their levels. Map makers don't have to know how to code to make cool new maps. They just pick and place cool things that people add to the community. So, and that way, and then people could build cool maps, and then people make cool, people make cool objects, with different materials, different lighting, stuff like that. And then people take these collections of objects and make cool levels, and then people take these collections of levels and make cool stories that, populate them, and speech in between and stuff like that. But one thing I do like about this art style is the higher the resolution, your graphics, the less graphics you get on the screen. Number. And that means the world. Look how... Okay, you're using, half of your screen for this block. Okay, well, how, say that block was this 4x4 section, or more like 3x3. How many of those blocks would you actually be able to see at once if you were looking top down with this far zoomed out? Meanwhile, look at the nuance in this. I mean, you can appreciate the computer screen, you can appreciate the detail and the flickering buttons, the movement of stuff. You're like, wow, the light flickers off, things explode, chunks fall off, the ceiling crumbles onto your character. I mean, you can do so much, and it still doesn't have to be first person. And it feels like a game like this is like a board game. You have to pretend, you have to use your imagination that it's there. Space Station 13 has great stories of like, okay, so the captain caught me right when I was about to steal this laser, and then I transformed into a monkey, and I kicked him, and I flew my poo at his face, and he was blind, and then I crawled through a vent. You're like, holy crap, you turned into a monkey and flew poo at a captain? What? And then he shot me and blew my tail off, and you're like, what the crap? You can't actually do all that in Space Station 13, but a lot of it you can. But then you show him the graphics for it, and it's like, boom, 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 boom. And it looks like ass. I mean, look, let me just show you the video. I mean, it doesn't look... It kind of looks like ass. I mean, so... This is a representation of what's going on. But in your mind, you can create something so much cooler, you know? You know, that plasma fire over there. Plasma fire. Fire is dangerous. Fire is cool. And yet, it just kind of looks like glowy stuff. But if you took an art style like this, flames going everywhere, I'm pretty sure you could do a lot more. Your brain believes it's real. It's happening to you, not just like this is a story and you have to pretend with your imagination. I mean, imagination games are good in their own right. Space Station 13 is good in its own right. But it's a much smaller audience that appreciates that type of game. And even I don't want to play Space Station 13 all the time. I play it in binges and then I get bored of it for a lot of reasons. A lot of game mechanics really don't add together. You know, it's a hodgepodge without a vision. Because like, what does botany have to do with cargo? Have to do with, you know, these jobs that don't really exist. These jobs that only someone who's completely bored would ever do, like botany. You sit around and you make vegetables for the crew, and like, some people enjoy it. There's some kind of cool things you could do, but anyway, I'm not here to bash Space 13. The point is that I think you could reach a lot more people with an art style like this, and not just more people, but I really think you could tell deeper stories that will affect you on a deeper level easier than reading a bunch of text and being like, oh, okay, and this guy said, where in science? Well, fucking shit, said a Borg. And you're like, oh, okay. But like, if you saw an actual robot driving up and the robot was like, fucking shit, you're like, holy shit, that Borg just swore. That's kind of funny. I mean, well, at least the first time you saw it. But, like, if you saw this, whatever happened here, and the events that led up to it, like, even when you're watching it, it's kind of hard to tell people what's going on. Like a lot of it's kind of, like, this guy's just running around, he's hiding in closets, that's what a traitor does. So he's just like, the game is glitchy like that. So he, like, uses his dart gun and then shoots the detective. You don't know a detective, but I know. So he shoots the detective, it kind of knocks him out, and then he uses the laser gun he stole, the captain's laser, and which recharges, and he shoots the guy dead. I think that's Captain's laser. The Fury beeps, I want to help. So he wasn't able to kill him with just the laser, so he shot him again with the trank dart. Now he's got an E sword, which is like a lightsaber. You can only bring. He brought it out of his pocket. Dice in the head by Tal Riker. I think I've played with him before. Ugh. 2 o'clock. It is time for bed. Anyway, if that had all happened, what you had just watched, but it looked like this, even the things I just described would look intense. I mean, shoot, I shot the detective, you'd see a hole blow through his chest, or laser and he melts into the ground. You're like, no! There's a lot of things you can do that you don't have to just pretend and add in your imagination. And somehow when you see it in a game, it's more real because if you invented it in your head, you know you invented it, so it has less authority in your mind. Because you know it's just made up. Somehow when someone else says something or does something, or a game shows you something, your brain treats it as more real, I think. I don't know. That's enough for now. It's an hour. Waste of time. Go to bed.